Lawmakers are weighing changes to school vaccine rules as a new voter opinion poll comes out. Florida Senate Bill 1756 would make it easier for parents to opt their children out of the required school immunizations. It adds a conscience exemption. Currently, the allowed exemptions are for medical and religious reasons. Supporters claim that it strengthens parental rights and access to vaccine information. Critics, however, warn that it undermines protections for public health. The bill comes as a new statewide poll shows broad bipartisan support for the school vaccines as they are now. 79% of Florida voters in 2026 support leaving the current school vaccination requirements as is. That poll done by McLaughlin and Associates. Patrick, I'd like to start with you. How do you see this playing out? You talked about the verbiage for if you do not want the vaccine being very different from if you do want the vaccine.
You know, this parental rights is just words. It's a selling point. The problem is that the bill, if you say, I want to vaccinate my children, it says, well, here, read all this information about the problems that could happen with vaccines. If I say, I don't want to vaccinate my children, they say, okay. They're not required to give me all the information about not vaccinating, what these diseases can cause. And you know, who knows anymore, because we've been vaccinating for so long that these diseases haven't been happening in our population, so we really don't know the negative effects. We're not in the age where, you know, 30,000 kids get polio every summer, and you see this tragedy. We don't have that anymore, and so it really is an anti-vaccine bill, and we're still having anti-vaccine language. This isn't about truth and honesty. This is about putting their finger on the scale and pushing this to be no vaccines. Listen, I love vaccines. A good vaccine's great. I had flu vaccine. I got my shingles vaccine. I mean, I'm sold on them, and I think that most of the public is also. I'd much rather trust my doctor than my legislator when it comes to vaccines.
Divya, what is that? What exactly is in the proposal? What does it say?
Yeah, so I think the proposal is trying to expand parental rights, as they're calling it, which allows, I think, like the existing law allows for exemptions from vaccines for religious or medical reasons. Now there's like a conscience reasons that parents can opt into, and I think the bill sponsor has said, they don't expect the vaccination rates to change significantly based on this, but I think a lot of the public has really expressed a lot of concern, you know, about what this could mean for immunocompromised students or students with families, or even chronic absenteeism.
Some of the critics who are watching this have said that, of course, supporters point to parental rights, that very responsible parents who do their research have a right to say if they want this or not for their child. But critics have said that, you know, the timing of this, it could not be worse. You know, we've got the Florida Department of Health confirming multiple cases of measles, and including 2 right here in Tampa Bay. So as you follow this story in Tallahassee, what are some of the loudest voices saying?
We're already in the danger zone. The medical community recommends that we have 95% vaccinations for herd immunity. Currently, our kindergartners in the state of Florida at 89%. So we're sliding, and we're going to continue to slide if this continues to happen. And so this really is a very dangerous experiment, because we're experimenting with kids' lives.